Okay, so today we're going to sew the second look from my sewing mood board. In a previous video, I shared this sewing mood board of a matching two-piece set, very inspired by the brand. My mom made it. I love a bunch of their stuff. I think it's so pretty. And their most recent collection is gorgeous. And in my sewing mood board, you couldn't really see the whole curtain. It was just a little bit of it. But this is it. It's this lovely off-white and it has a pretty ruffle on the side and then this gorgeous, gorgeous lace trim. So I thrifted two of them and I already took the second one apart and pressed it, so it's good to go. I'm not sure of the composition of this. It feels like a cotton polyester, but majority cotton. It honestly feels like 65-70% cotton and the rest polyester. So I hope that it's not too hot when I wear it because that would make me so sad. I did make a mock-up for the bloomers to test it to see what I like, what changes I may need to make, and just have like a fit test. So I will show you guys that in a second. But I just want to say thank you so much for all the love from my previous video. The comments were so nice and just makes me really happy that you're enjoying the vlog. And I just want these to feel fun and like we're hanging out and like you're in the room with me. So let's get into the project. Okay, so here are the shorts. They're super cute. I think the lane pants are perfect. I didn't really have to make that many changes. Let me tell you what I did. Maybe if you've made these pants before, you can like see these visuals. That pattern has a separate waistband piece, which I didn't make. I just extended the pattern like 2 inches so then I could roll it over to create a tunnel. So I wanted to have a thin elastic. I don't think that the ones that I make with the curtain, I want it this thin. I think I am going to make the separate waistband piece. I also extended the pants from the top, like just a little bit, so then it would go out. I'm not going to do that with the curtain. Doing that, it like kind of bubbles. You probably can't tell on camera, but in person, it gathers up kind of strange at the top. And so I wonder, look, do you see that? Do you see that? I don't know. I don't like that. And then like this that's happening right here. Yeah, I don't like that. But this is the idea. This gave me a pretty good idea of the look of it, and I think it'll look different when I make them longer. I do want mine to be a little bit longer. These kind of end right like an inch under my knee, and I don't want that. But I kind of want them to fit more like in the middle of my shin. But these would be really cute just to wear to bed, especially in the summer when it gets so hot. But yeah, this is my mock-up. So I love the lane pants. They are my go-to. So to make these shorts a little bit wider, I started 8 inches below the waistband instead of right at the top of the waistband. That way it wouldn't do that weird bubbling that it was doing at the top. Also, when I was placing the pattern pieces onto the fabric, I realized it was still going to take up a lot of fabric even though I was making these pants into shorts. So I wanted to be very careful with the pattern placement because I didn't want to waste any fabric and I just wanted to use up as much as I could. I was trying to prevent being left with like weird shaped pieces that I can't do anything with. So here are all my pattern pieces cut out. They look so cute. So this was my original inspo pick, which I love and I still wanted to do, but I've also been loving bloomer capris. So I wanted to make these shorts like a 2-in-1 where I could wear them like my original inspo pick, but then also cinch them at the bottom and wear them as capris. I also wanted to add pockets to both the front and the back like my inspo pick, and then also use the lace trim for the top of the pockets because it looks so cute. It's so adorable. So I could tell early on that these shorts were going to be really cute just from the pattern pieces alone, and maybe that had to do with planning or having a lot of visuals where I could plan this out perfectly, but I was getting really excited at this point and I knew they were going to be my favorite. Okay, so I cut out all my pieces and sewed the inseams. This is how the front looks. I wanted to do pockets like my inspo pick. This is it up close. It's so cute. Something like this, just to kind of hide the sheerness. Obviously, you have to wear the right kind of underwear or you're going to be able to see everything, but I feel like the pockets will kind of hide it. Let me show you the back. You can see that this one is a little bit wider, so I made longer pockets, but this is the back, so you can see it's a little bit longer. It's so cute! And these pockets are probably not going to be very functional. I don't think I'm really going to put anything in it. I think they'll kind of pull my pants down, but they look cute. What I'm going to do now is finish putting the shorts together. Because I've made so many lane pants, sewing the front and back pieces together went pretty quickly. I would say that this was the easiest and fastest part of sewing the bloomer capris. Okay, and this is random, but I recently got an overlock machine. I've only had it for about a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months, and it is such a game changer. I was definitely really missing out not having one of these. It makes such a huge difference. So this is a shout out to my new overlock machine. So at this point, I've been working on these shorts for about 5 hours. So it's time for a lunch break and I'm having leftover Chipotle and it was delicious. So buttonholes are something that I feel like I'm not very good at. So I always like to practice making a few before I sew them onto the fabric that I'm working on, kind of like a warm up. Even though buttonholes I think are considered something very basic, I just don't feel very confident in them and I always get really paranoid that if I don't practice them, I'm going to mess up on the fabric that I'm working on and completely ruin it. Because I added 2 buttonholes to the waistband so I could thread a drawstring through. The pockets were probably the most time consuming part of the bloomer capris because it was a lot of pinning and trying on and then unpinning and adjusting and just double checking everything in the mirror because they were used to hide the sheerness and also for aesthetic reasons because they look nice. But specifically the back pieces had to be in a very precise spot, like literally in the middle of my butt cheek, or else you'd be able to see everything from behind if you were walking behind me. So after I finish the pockets, I can move on to the bottom of the pants, and I just love this lace trim. I think it's so pretty. But before I pinned the trim, I overlocked the edge and then I sewed the trim down using I think 1/8 of an inch or half a centimeter seam allowance. I'm not sure which one. So now I'm finally on the last step, which is the tunnel. So I first cut out the pieces for the tunnel and then overlocked the edges and then made my 2 drawstrings. And all I needed to do was just figure out the placement of the tunnel because I didn't want it to be too close to the trim, but then I didn't want it to be too high either. And then I could just sew it in place, and I just sewed 2 rows on each edge of the tunnel. Okay, so here's a little sneak peek of the bloomers. I love them so much. So these are the 2 ways that I can wear them. I can wear them gathered like on the left or loose like on the right. So now it's time to work on my tops. I'm so excited to show you the finished capris. They're so cute. I'm wearing them right now. I love them. And it's cloudy today. It looks really dark. So the capris took up most of the first curtain. So I do have to use the second curtain. There was a little bit of fabric left over, but not to make the top that I want. It's okay. I'll figure out what to use it for. So I already seam ripped the top and ironed it, and I didn't even bother seam ripping the ruffle. I'm like way too lazy for that. So let me tell you the top that I want to make. So I want to make this one. It's so cute. It reminds me of those little baby doll tops, and I just love the little cap sleeve and the elastic at the neckline and then the little tie. So I want to make the little baby doll top. I'm hoping, I already mapped it out, but I want to make a baby doll dress too. That would look so cute. And then maybe make some little shorts or just wear a baby doll dress over this too. Like, oh, it looks so cute. So I love thrifting at Savers, and if you ever thrift at Savers, they have a craft section usually, and they always have like these little bags full of stuff. And this one had some zippers and this really pretty, what is this called? Tassels. I thought it would look nice to add these to like the trim of a curtain. I don't know. I'm gonna save these. I have an idea. But this was also in there, this pretty trim like this. And I've used a little bit of this, but when I first got it, it was really big and puffy. And I thought, wow, someone bought out Michael's that day because this literally reminded me of all the trim at Michael's. And I'm like, that must have been expensive. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is use it as a trim for the top of the blouse. It's gonna look so cute. I'm just at the point where, ugh, I don't know why, but if I get really excited about my project, I just want to finish. Like, it's not even that I'm annoyed that something's taking so long. It's just I'm really excited and I want to finish and I want to wear it now and I want to take pictures and I want to show what I made. But so yeah, I'm going to try and knock out this top really fast. Hopefully I can finish today, or at least have everything done, and then I can show you how everything came out tomorrow. Yeah, so finishing that day did not happen. I didn't come close. So originally I wanted to make a baby doll top and a baby doll dress, but I didn't really plan out the cutting. So when I started cutting out the top, I realized I didn't have enough fabric left over to make a dress. So I just sat on the floor kind of rethinking everything because I was so set on this one plan. So now I had to come up with 2 different tops to make. So this is what I had left, which is still a good amount of fabric, I guess, for a couple tops, but definitely not enough for a dress. And I still have no concept of time. Maybe it's because I'm just very optimistic and I think that I can finish something very quickly, but usually what ends up happening is I think that something's going to take me 2 hours and then it takes me 2 days and I have to kind of rethink everything or replan. So I just decided to call it a night and clean up this mess. What do you do when you don't know what kind of top to make? You make three. So I made three tops and the bloomers, and I don't even know what to start with. I feel like I should start with the bloomers because I feel like they're the star of this video. Let me get on my stool so you can see. So this is the two ways that I can wear them. So option A and then option B, and both look so cute. I love that there's not too many ruffles where you could only wear it like one way, if you know what I mean. So I really love that I have two options because sometimes I may feel like wearing a bloomer and then sometimes I won't. I love the detail of the hem. I'm gonna insert a photo, but I don't know if you can tell, but I top stitched the lace right here because it was kind of like riding up because it's thicker than the fabric. But I honestly think it adds a little detail, like it adds a layer to the hem. And my back pockets are so cute. I mean, I think you can kind of see my underwear because I'm not wearing nude colored underwear, but it's okay just for the video. But yeah, I'll make sure to wear like nude colored underwear. But I really love how my bloomer capris turned out. Remember, I was worried about the fabric composition because it's cotton polyester, but I think it's more cotton than polyester, so I think it'll be fine. So now we move on to the top. So this is the first top, and this was part of my mood board. I showed this pattern. It's by Pattern Shop by Ames, and so I decided to make it because I know earlier I was like, I don't know what kind of top I want to make, but I just thought, you know what? Just stick to what you originally wanted because I always do this. And you know what the problem is? Is I get inspiration overload. I spend too much time on Pinterest and I think, oh, that's cute. That's cute. I could do that. Oh, wait, what if I did this with this? Or, oh, I like the idea of this top and I applied it. Like, no, it's okay to be inspired, but sometimes I think it's, with me at least, it's like borderline distraction. It's no longer research, it's just distraction. I think this top is adorable. I love it so much. And I added the lace trim right here, which I think adds a really nice detail. And I think the top would look cute without it, like in her pattern photo. But I just think this adds something because I really wanted to use all of the fabric, all of the material. And this is the back. I think it's adorable. I hemmed it a little bit and made it short because I didn't want to cover the waistband or the front pockets. So I just wanted to make sure that every top I made was kind of at the waistline or above it. This is option one. And then let me show you the other two. So this is top number two. And I was going back and forth between something strapless or with straps. I just wanted a variety of tops, like something that are things that are, or tops that are very different from each other. So this top in general is easy to make because the front and back pieces are just really long rectangles and then the ruffle piece is the same length. What took a little bit of figuring out was I knew I wanted an elastic, but I didn't want the elastic to show through both pieces of fabric. So I had to figure out how to fold it over where it supports me on the inside, but you can't see it on the outside. So that took a little bit of figuring out, but I really love how this turned out and I made it a little short so you could of course see the front, and I just love that it covers me in the back. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, see how it covers a little bit of the backside so you can't see my underwear, which is what we want. So this is top number two. Maybe I lied. Maybe this top took the longest to figure out because I had to make some adjustments to the pattern. So I used this pattern and I made this one. So one thing about this pattern is the tunnel right here is just for elastic and the drawstring isn't actually tunneled through. You just sew it right here in the center, which is fine, but I didn't want that. Like, I wanted to tunnel the elastic through so I could actually cinch it and then the tie actually be functional. That took a little bit of figuring out because they don't account for that. And so I had to make the buttonholes. The tunnel is made with bias tape, so I had to make it wide enough so I could tunnel the tie through. I wish I had enough fabric to make a baby doll dress, like the same top but in a dress form, because I think that would be so cute. I think it's so cute. Here's how the front looks. It's adorable. So this is option three, and then this is all that I have left. I have this like long piece right here, and then I have a lot of trim left over too. There's not really much that I can make with that. Maybe the rest of the fabric can just be like lining for something, and then I can use the trim for something else. This took me a really long time because there's just so much figuring out and planning, and then I don't know, like sometimes I have to stop and think about what I'm doing and I'm trying to picture what I'm making, and I have to like check myself and confirm, like, do I really want to do that? Because obviously once you cut something, there's no going back. And I guess You can technically say that I overthink my sewing projects, but whatever, like I'm gonna overthink them because I don't want to waste any fabric. But I'm really happy with the capris. They're definitely my number one. And if I had to rank the tops, I would probably say the baby doll pattern shop by Ames top, the strapless top, and then this one number three. Not that it's number three because it's ugly, but just if I had to rank them. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that you stay and watch my video all the way through. It really means a lot to me. I would love to know which item was your favorite and which top was your favorite. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you're here, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a good rest of your week.